Coming up on this episode of the Village Idiom.
There once was a boy in Manhattan.
And the skyscraper was soon to flatten him.
He yelled out with a cry, oh my, good thing my parents named me Mark Batten.
Dum dum da da, Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every week we choose a popular saying and take an admittedly shallow, hopefully comedic, and once in a while interesting, and if we're really lucky, educational dive into its meaning, its usage, its origins, but mostly we're going to use it to hang our otherwise directionless conversation on. My name is Jurassic Mark.
I am Skinny. It's another good day.
If you look into the monitor in front of us, do I look like I'm... do I look like I'm looking at you?
Well, I don't know, because you have a bit of a, you know how your eye wanders. Like,
Thanks. Okay,
I don't want to bring it up.
Now do I look like I'm looking at you?
One of your eyes does.
Oh, boy. Okay, forget it. Today's idiom, the idiom du jour, as the kids say these days, we're going with this one. Ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Throw him in the Paddy Wagon.
Throw them in the Paddy Wagon. We're doing Paddy Wagon.
Paddy Wagon, I love it. I enjoy all sorts of wagon related themes.
What?
Well, you got your covered wagon.
Fall off the wagon.
You got your wagon wheel.
Wagon wheel. Welcome wagon.
Puff the magic wagon. There's all sorts of good wagon related things.
The dog wagging the tail.
Yes, that.
Tail wagging the dog.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Well, that's not today's.
Well, having a paddy wagon, I have I have some initial thoughts. About.
Usually we leave these alone.
My thoughts?
Yeah, no, we don't leave. We never leave your thoughts alone. But sometimes we avoid.
I don't like to be alone with my own thoughts.
No, nobody does.
Yeah,
I've been alone with your own thoughts.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
You got a dart in your neck.
Yeah, no. I'm not even giving you choices today. There's no game to play because, I felt like you probably know where this comes from.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those ones that's been out there.
I think so. It's kind of
doesn't mean we're not going to cover it.
No, we low hanging fruit and us. Those are that's our speciality.
What other episode could we have said "Puff the Magic Wagon"? If not this one.
If not now, then when?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. If not here, then
who?
Then I don't know. I was trying to think of that song. It was one of those "Tonight's the Night" song.
Oh, Toby Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If not here, where?
If it's not,
that's the one.
If it's not there, then who? Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's where my mind
I can't
is
think
going.
of it either.
Anyways, Paddy Wagon, it got me thinking about, and I came across a little website about Irish slang.
Well, first, let's just say a paddy wagon is a police van used to transport criminals. Let's say you needed to get criminals from point A to point B, point A being the prison, point B being Off the Hook fish and chips restaurant. You might use a paddy wagon.
Mm-hmm. It's a kind of has some slurry context, but it's kind of not. I don't think it even really means that anymore.
No, exactly.
But it's not even like a terrible in terms of slurs. There's worse ones.
Well, we're going to get into the slurry part of where in origins of why it's called a paddy wagon, but I think it's all in the person who takes offense creates the level of how bad the word is.
So on this one, I don't know. We know I have Irish coworker. It's not. I don't know. It's not a rattling.
You
thing.
have an Irish coworker?
Yes, she has absolute Irish heritage. Yes.
Are you talking about our ginger friend?
No, she looks Irish, but it's not Irish.
Oh, of course. Now I know who you're talking about.
Yes.
Wow, I can't believe that I didn't think of
Okay, so here's a good Irish term. Let's see, illegitimate children. If you can, if you've heard of this or you have some thoughts on this one.
So you're giving a slang and we're trying to guess.
You just guess.
And
I don't know the meter. I can hand the phone over to you at one point and you can try a couple on me.
Okay.
Acting the maggot. Acting the maggot. Oh, acting the maggot.
Oh, that's just somebody who...
Stop acting the maggot.
That's obviously somebody who just loves to, like, a lazy person who spends all day just sitting around in raw meat.
Close. An Irish term for fooling or messing around.
Oh,
Minus the raw meat part, you had it. You're acting the maggot.
acting the maggot.
So it's not too bad. This one I hadn't heard before. Banjaxed.
B-A-N?
Let me use it in a sentence. This chair is banjaxed.
Oh, it just means like there's something goofy about it. Like it's not solid.
It's broken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Banjaxed.
So as long as you can slide. Just
how do
slide
you
through?
How do you not know? Okay, let's see if you know this one.
Because I went through to find it, and then
Brutal.
that's something's brutal. It's that's just not good. It has problems.
Yeah, you see, you went through these.
Yeah.
How about this one? You boyo.
Boyo. Fresh boyo d.
Come on. I can't do an Irish accent. But
Okay.
come on, you boyo.
I'm a boy.
Yeah, male juvenile.
What? That's longer than the actual word. Usually things are shorter.
How about it's bucketing down?
Well, that would seem raining.
Yeah, it's raining. You're getting all these. Are these just easier?
Go through. Give me
Bunk off.
Oh, I have some concern about that. Bunk off?
Do you want to bunk off tomorrow?
It's a sleepover?
No.
A bunk?
It's to skip work or school.
Bunk off.
You're going to bunk off work.
Oh, wow. Okay, there you go.
Let's find another one.
That could have went in a variety of ways, I guess.
How about chancer? He is a real chancer.
That's one of Santa's reindeer. He's a chancer. He likes the dice. He's a gambler.
No, he's a lighthearted Irish. Oh, it is. Oh, sorry. This is a lighthearted Irish insult for someone who takes a risk. Oh, yeah, you're right. I read it wrong. Someone who takes risks. He's a chancer. That's not even a slang. That's just what you are.
That's just a word.
You leave it up to chance. You're a chancer.
You're a chancer,
Very close to a chancellor.
which is much different.
How about a chiseler?
Well, someone who chisels, someone who tries to get a bargain.
Not one who chisels. Chiseler.
Chiseler? I hardly know her.
We used to all the
Chiseler.
time go for the all-you-can-eat salad bar at Chiseler.
The steaks at Chiseler.
Let's use it in a sentence. He was a chiseler at the time. He was just a chiseler at the
he's
time.
trying to get a deal. That's
He's
someone who's chiseling deals.
Is a kid.
Oh, okay. See?
So you were just a chiseler at the time. You were just a kid.
Just a thought in his daddy's eye. Just a chiseler. Okay. Culchi.
Culchi?
Culchi. Let's use this in a sentence. She is a Culchi original. She's a Culchi originally.
It sounds like someone who's just into high fashion and culture.
An Irish person from an agricultural area. Country folk.
Oh, culture. Agriculture. She's a culchi.
She's, okay, a cute whore.
I'm sorry? A cute
Hoor.
A cute whore.
He is a real cute whore.
I mean, a gigolo?
Person who quietly engineers things to their own advantage.
Really? That is
Yeah,
not
'cause-
what that sounds like.
No, and so when I think of Irish, when you're trying to translate Irish things, like in a TV show, a person rattles off some sort of long Gaelic-y kind of phrase, and you're like, I have no idea what they meant.
Yeah.
And so it makes complete sense that we don't have a clue what all these words are.
makes complete sense outside of any language that we wouldn't have a clue of what's going on.
Most languages, which anything but English, yeah, you got us.
And then, I mean,
And that's questionable.
that's questionable. And here we have a podcast discussing English
Well, sometimes we're learning
idioms.
things just as much as
We are.
as the
That's
legitimate
exactly what this is all about. It's for our own edification.
So yeah, so that's a little preview through some Irish slang, and then how about some patties?
Sandy?
There you go. Is she Irish?
I don't know what she is. Sandy Patty. Back in the, 80s, 90s Christian music scene?
Yes. Man, how about Paddy Pimblett?
I don't know that name.
He's a UFC fighter. I actually don't even think he's Irish.
Really?
No, I think he's English. Definitely, he's a scout.
Patty Duke?
There you go. Patty O'Lantern.
Yep. Two all beef.
Yes, those patties. Special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, and sesame seed bun.
How about patties?
Okay, so how about this one?
How about wagons?
So, so you will know this patty.
Peppermint.
Peppermint patty. From
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown.
Peanuts.
Yes. So in a bit, do you remember much about her?
Yeah, she was tomboyish.
She was athletic. Yes.
And she was also in love with Chuck.
Yes, that's a great memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a fascination with Charlie Brown, and she was hyper athletic.
Yeah.
So some construed tomboy-y. But yeah, Peppermint Patty.
Yeah.
She was a redhead.
Was she?
Kind of ish, Reddy Brown.
Reddy Brown? Ruddy, they would call that.
Is she ready? And her actual name is Patricia.
Makes sense. Peppermint Patricia.
So she was a Patty, which Patty is a short for Patrick or Patricia or these sorts of things, to be a Patty.
Or a field to grow rice.
That's another kind of patty. A rice patty.
Yeah.
Very good. Neither red nor Irish.
Which was not a character in Peanuts.
Right. Yeah.
Rice.
Rice patty.
Rice patty.
There's peppermint patty, rice patty.
Yeah. That's her cousin.
Cow patty. There's all sorts of fun patties. Some are good for eating, some not.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's great.
Prove me wrong.
I cannot do that.
So having some good patty lore, some good Irish things. What other Irishy type things make you in the Paddy Wagon vein?
Well, as far as Irish, like I've never been to Ireland. Have you ever been to Ireland?
No, England. That's as close as I got.
Yeah, I've never been. If I ever went, I would be the stereotypical tourist where I'm like, okay, I want to kiss the Blarney Stone. I want to, I don't know, visit the oldest pub or something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Something along like I just the White Cliffs of Dover. Wait, is that Ireland?
I don't know. I did come across this other phrase which was very interesting.
Is that Scotland?
A black patty. Which
never met one.
Okay, so which is someone from so Irish with like Spanish, like conquistador type heritage. So black hair, dark eyes.
They're not in Ireland. The White Cliffs of Dover. My bad.
They're in England?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Isn't that like a song from Guitar Hero 3?
Probably.
Yeah, and that's a black patty.
Sorry, I missed I was looking up White Cliffs.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
From Cheers.
It's not like
where's the black patty from?
So like
that's just a charred
patty.
Yeah,
something that's been on the barbecue too long.
Yeah.
No, that so outside of red hair, you know that kind of stereotypical Irish
Conan O'Brien.
Yes. Andrew Santino. Red hair, but black hair, like jet black.
Irish person?
Yeah, jet black hair with dark eyes. Yeah,
that's a black patty.
Black patty, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard that
Which
one
is different than a Black Panther or Black Adam. It's much different. And it's not a superhero.
Or Black Widow.
Get that right out of your head.
Okay.
It's the Spanish.
Black patty.
Spanish. It would be an Irish superhero. What would they be? What would be their thing?
Irish superhero. Well, their kryptonite would just be the sun.
Just general sun
Just
exposure.
stay out of the sun.
They only come out in the evening, like Batman.
Right. Yeah. But their superpower would be no matter what the occasion, no matter who's in danger, on the spot, they can come up with a limerick.
Every time they they come into a situation, they just say a limerick.
Yeah, you might still die, but you'll chuckle.
So
I'm dying. I'm twisted beneath the rail cars. There once was a boy in Manhattan.
And the skyscraper was soon to flatten him.
He yelled out with a cry, oh my, good thing my parents named me Mark Batten.
And then you have a laugh, and then you
still die under the train. Yeah.
Yeah, but at least you went out with a smile on your
That's
face.
the
that's his superpower.
I mean, that's too typical Irish superhero.
And then he drinks a Guinness and flies away on a rainbow to a pot of gold.
Oh yeah, we got leprechauns, and yeah, that's right.
There's all sorts of classic Ireland trivia.
Snake, the driving of the snakes. What's that called? It's
Like cattle rustling? But
No,
snakes?
no. There's a whole. What's the Irish story about the driving out of all the snakes?
Is this one of the saint stories?
Yeah, I think it's St. Patrick actually.
That makes sense.
I think
One of
that's
them Irish saints. Can you think of one? Anyone at all whatsoever?
St. Paddy.
Oh yeah.
How about that, Patty? We're trying to think of patties.
Oh yeah, St. Paddy. Well, there's all sorts of we were talking about wagons. The Paddy Wagon is like the police van.
Yeah.
So if you have a paddy, it's like a Paddy Wagon runs into a like cement truck, would produce hardened criminals.
Stupid. There's another whole line of jokes.
No.
Paddy Wagon runs into a.
Paddy. Okay, fair enough. Paddy Wagon runs into a. Let's pick one.
It's way too hard.
Okay, so it's not. It's too specific.
Probably.
Okay, fair enough. Irish fans, feel free to jot one down for us. Yes. So her name was Patricia Reichhold or something like that, which sounds very German.
Whose name was?
Peppermint Patty.
Oh, okay.
She actually
Sorry.
had an actual name.
I didn't know we were still.
Patricia
on-
Reichhold.
We
Yes.
talked about so much since you last said peppermint. I forgot we were Reinhold.
Or Reichhold.
Like Judge Reinhold.
Reichhold, something like that. Some very.
I wonder if there's any relation. I've actually never seen them in the same place, so maybe they're the same person.
It's possible.
Judge and Peppermint Patty. Reinhold.
Well,
Do you know who I'm talking about, Judge Reinhold?
yes, he's the
He's the quirky
Fast Times on Ridgemont High. He was also, wasn't he in?
Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird name, Judge.
It is a weird name. I think he played a judge once.
Sure. I can't dispute what's in your brain.
You have before. Anyway, I feel like we have derailed a little bit. Our Paddy Wagon has lost a wheel.
And I've got a
boy.
fresh idea for you.
Well, why the pauses
off-
in between?
off
Where I
the
feel
hook.
like I got to fill in with nothing, and then you're like, no, I got more.
No, so I'm going with because we had that killer idea for the fish and chips
Oh, last week.
last week's
Yeah.
spot. Okay, food truck. It's just a simple hamburger food truck, maybe Irish themed, called the Paddy Wagon.
There's no way that doesn't exist already.
Isn't that too good?
Yeah.
So it's a food truck, a hamburger food truck, maybe Irish themed.
Basic burgers.
Yeah, it's the Paddy Wagon.
100%. 100% that, like, stall for a second because there's no way that doesn't exist already.
It's too good, right?
It's too good.
The Paddy Wagon.
I'm typing in Patty wagon. Whoop.
Or it could be green with shamrocks on
Food
it,
truck.
called the Paddy Wagon. Just to maybe they do Guinness and burgers.
There's many.
it's too
Paddy
good.
wagons, burger food trucks, all called. They're not even the same chain of food trucks. They're all different.
It makes it's the low hanging fruit
It was too good to not already exist.
for sure.
Oh, there's one that looks like a police van. Oh, where'd it go? Like
See?
some of them have
Now
police badges on them. See, look at this one.
Yeah, they're theming it up.
Paddy wagon
for the
burgers
legitimate
with a
children,
sheriff's badge on
it's
it.
a police looking van with the side pops out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Wow, there you go.
we should probably at least cover
This one, their
even for 5
slogan is criminally delicious.
smooth.
Slammer's Paddy wagon. That's even better. You get thrown in the slammer.
Okay, so what would be other items available?
Oh, on the food truck. Interesting. Okay. Nope. Nothing's coming to mind.
Aren't they known for potatoes as well? The Irish
Yes. So the Great Potato Famine.
and driving out snakes. How about some snake?
Rattlesnake and potatoes.
I'm just trying to bring something else unique to the Paddy Wagon.
Huh. Could work in the White Cliffs of Dover somehow.
And people are like, "Do you guys serve Irish food? Why do you call yourselves the White Cliffs? Isn't that in England?" They're very long.
There's no way of knowing.
They're very long. The White Cliffs
They're
of Dover.
super long.
They're so long. It's like, aren't they separate islands?
Ah,
I don't know.
do you want a burger or not?
So tell us where maybe this actually comes from.
Sounds
I think we
good.
got a general idea.
All right, let's do it.
I said some words. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind.
Well, here we go. The Paddy Wagon, the name is commonly thought to come from an association with the Irish, which is why we spent so much of our time today jibber-jabbing about different Ireland and Irish-related things.
And England as well.
Because in the 19th and early 20th centuries, a disproportionately large number of Irish were police in North American cities. Now, this supposition is only partly true because we, as sort of hinted at in the beginning, this could be considered a derogatory. Paddy is sometimes considered derogatory toward the Irish, and sometimes considered a totally acceptable slang term for Irish people. So it's like right in the middle of the nitpicky, like, please don't ever use that to talk about the Irish. And then there's a ton of Irish who are just like, all of us Paddies, and welcome it. Like, there's food trucks. Like, it's not so negative that you would get in trouble. Now, having said that, the number of time we've used Paddy today to refer to something Irish, if you give it 10 years and this episode is played, maybe everything has changed.
We'll be canceled.
And so if this is now 2050 and you're pulling this up,
And the Irish around the world.
we recorded this in 2023 and it was completely acceptable. So the first, this is something I didn't know. The first Paddy wagons were actually wheelbarrows. Barrows. Why is it wheelbarrow? What's the word barrow? I always used to think it was wheelbarrow when I was a kid.
Well, it's a barrel.
It's a barrel
cut in half with a wheel on it.
Yeah, so why? But it's not
a
spelled like
wheelbarrow.
that. It's a barrow.
Barrel.
It should be barrel. Anyway, the first Paddy wagons were wheelbarrows, and specifically either small or shoddily made ones. Like, it wasn't like state-of-the-art wheelbarrow.
Bring out your dad.
Yeah, it was a Paddy wagon was meant to be like not great. The first or earliest association with of Paddy with wheelbarrows is from actually our friend Ralph Waldo Emerson. In 1850, in a collection of lectures called Representative Men, Emerson writes this: "But great men, the word is injurious, is their caste, is their fate. What becomes of the promise to virtue? The thoughtful youth laments the I don't know. Do you know this word? Superfoetation of nature. Generous and handsome, he says, is your hero, but look at yonder poor Paddy, whose country is his wheelbarrow. Look at his whole nation of Paddies.
I've got it right now.
Why are the masses, from the dawn of history down, food for knives and powder? The idea dignifies a few leaders who have sentiment, opinion, love, and self-devotion."
Potatoes. Boom. Answer. Riddle solved.
Potatoes in a wheelbarrow.
Yeah. You going through a field, collecting potatoes, wheelbarrow.
So, have you heard this, or are you just saying this?
I'm saying this right now.
Okay, let me read the next sentence. Exactly what did Emerson mean by his country is his wheelbarrow? We can't be sure, but he was writing at the end of the Great Potato Famine. And he could have been referring to the Irish people emigrating abroad with all their possessions and nothing but a wheelbarrow and probably a lot of potatoes. So it's actually
that's amazing.
Quite likely. He could also just be referring to the poor Irish farmer and means nothing disparaging by it at all. In any case, the years following his lecture, suddenly wheelbarrows became commonly referred to as Paddy wagons. And so it had nothing to do with criminality. It had nothing to do with the police. The Paddy wagons was just a slang term for wheelbarrows because of Ralph Emerson's lecture.
So there's the two sides where it could be that the Paddy wagon, because there's so many Irish police officers, that if there was Irish people in the van, that was a Paddy wagon. Or the flip side I heard, which is more derogatory, is that sometimes known for rough and tumble and fighting and carrying on and with the alcohol. So that's the backside of the Paddy wagon.
That's the split decision. So historically, wheelbarrows being called Paddy wagons comes from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Nothing controversial there. But the police vehicle called a Paddy wagon, it is split down the middle as to whether there were, because of so many
sitting in the front
Irish
or sitting in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's either a derogatory slang term for a police vehicle because we're saying that all criminals are Irish, or it's very positive because all the policemen were Irish. Mm-hmm. So it's unknown, but it's interesting that in either direction, it's comes from that sort of same, early New York gangs and police and firemen, and those were the paddy wagons. Was it because the paddies were driving or because they were being hauled in the back? No real knowing for sure.
Like in an alternate universe, it could be fire trucks, it could be paddy wagons, because they all got into fire enforcement, whatever those guys do.
Yeah.
So that's a paddy wagon because they're all involved in the fire department.
Should have been called.
Or they were all arsonists.
Well, if you ever watched Gangs of New York,
Just burn it down.
they were both the firemen and the arsonists.
There you go.
Here, this was interesting. Just kind of a fun side paddy wagon story from 1895 issue of the Idaho Avalanche. Says this: 17 years ago, in 1878, Lyman Potter of New York State performed the prodigious task of pushing a common paddy wheelbarrow. So here they didn't call it a paddy wagon; they called it a paddy wheelbarrow across the continent. He started from his home on Dane Street, Albany, New York, on the morning of April 10th, 1878, and arrived in San Francisco on the afternoon of October 5th of the same year, being almost exactly 178 days, 5 hours, and 3 minutes over. In performing this wearisome feat, Potter was a shoemaker, and the trip was the result of a wager made by some friends who believed that such a trip would occupy at least 200 days. The wager was $1,000, so he was over the time that... he said exactly 178 days over. Anyway, now I can't tell if he made it or... The wager said it would take at least 200 days. The wager was one of $1,000, but Potter made between 3 and 5 times that sum advertising for different parties along the route. So he turned it into a marketing scheme. And the wheelbarrow was made especially for the use to which it was put and weighed about 75 pounds. The distance traveled by Potter was exactly 4,085 3/4 miles, but he pushed a paddy wagon across the continent.
So it's either he's going to make it across the continent for this raising money for this one thing, or he's going to make several stops along the way.
I mean, it wasn't
and raise
raising
more
money. It was a bet.
Oh, because I
I bet I can do it in less than 200 days.
I'm like, this sounds like Terry Fox, the way you laid it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I make it across Canada, then this is going to be the donation. But along the way, we're going to make gobs of money, bigger donations.
Terry Fox has had a massive impact on Canada. And even as a kid, like getting into sports or whatever.
I'm waiting for something horrible that you're about to say.
No. I was actually going to say he inspired me. I mean, I jumped into track with both feet.
So off. Yeah. I have to deal with the repercussions of that too.
In the United States, Paddy was a common Irish shortening of Padraig, which is Patrick in English, and became an ethnic slur, like you said, to Irish people. Over half the people arrested in New York in the 1840s and 50s were Irish. But I don't know if that says that much, because I think there were just... So were the police. Most of the police were Irish. I think there was just that many Irish people that...
Oh, yeah.
They probably could have as easily said most of the wheelbarrow makers in those times were Irish. Most of the bakers were Irish.
The Guinness drinkers.
Most of the Guinness drinkers
Leprechaun
were Irish.
chasers.
And then just to throw one, do you know what Donnybrook is?
A fight.
Yeah, a fight. And that was also derogatory because there's a town in Ireland called Donnybrook. And so if a fight broke out, they called it Donnybrook because of those drunk
I haven't
Irish.
heard that. So there's a Canadian program, Letterkenny.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the phrases, like, they off come the shirts and like the shirts. We're doing this, boys. Yeah, we're doing the Donnybrook boys. Let's go, boys. That phrase, Donnybrook. I love those classic terms. It was so good. Well,
that's the origins. It's about all I got for Paddy Wagon today.
that's a good one.
But it was interesting.
I liked it. Yeah. In case you didn't know that one, Village Idiom children, now you got a little tidbit for the cooler today.
Little tidbit just for you.
Yeah, when you're walking down the hallway, sharing an elevator with somebody, it's like, let's go, boys. We're going to do this, Donnybrook, and then just grab them like, hey, you're in.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then you pull their shirt over their head and
You
start
throw them in a
pounding
Paddy Wagon.
There you go. At least you have something to talk about at the water cooler
That
today.
would give you something to talk about.
Yeah, we
Seriously.
had to fight in the elevator with
You had a Donnybrook?
out of Donnybrook in the elevator, boys. Oh my goodness.
Well, listen. Riddlink is a game we like to play. It takes two-part trivia-based question, requires a two-part overlapping answer, overlapping by sound, syllable, word, or words. So, for example, last week, episode 234, our idiom was off the hook. Oh, man. It was yours. I didn't write it down. Whenever you do it, I forget to write it down. Do you remember what it was?
That's not good.
It was a dad. The dad says... It was,
okay, just give me one.
if your dad tells you to stop...
Dad says this when he wants you to stop and release you from responsibility. Dad says this when he wants you to stop and release you from responsibility.
All right, and so I'm going to guess that is knock it off the hook.
Knock it off the hook.
So the answer isn't knock it off. The answer isn't off the hook. The answer is knock it off the hook. That's how you play Riddlink.
Well, I have a couple prepared.
I do as well.
Let me get this party started.
Hit me.
She has a crush on Charlie Brown when she's not in a police van.
This Peanuts tomboy has a crush on Charlie Brown in a police van. That was my first one. So let's answer together. Peppermint Paddy Wagon. All right.
Oh, man. So you got it then.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, I'm concerned about the next.
I am too, actually, because it has been mentioned at least earlier.
Okay, here we go.
Yep.
Discs of ground beef will get you in a mobile drunk tank.
That's just a fun sentence, isn't it?
Discs of ground beef will get you in a mobile drunk tank.
Is that as simple as hamburger patty wagon?
That's a hamburger patty wagon.
Okay, good. Discs of ground beef. Okay, I do have one more that isn't that one, so why don't you tell everybody how they can play along?
You can reach out to us on Instagram at the.village.idiom or email us thevillageidiompodcast@gmail.com, or whether it's the Facebooks, the YouTubes, or the Twitters at 3 Minutes Gone.
Here we go. Irish-related police van is a delicious chocolate-covered marshmallow stuffed cookie sandwich.
Oh, beautiful.
Irish-related police van is a delicious chocolate-covered marshmallow stuffed cookie sandwich.
And that is 3 Minutes Gone.
Beauty.
I love it. I know exactly what that is. I've enjoyed
Right.
that confectionery delight many a time.
Exactly.
We got a Donnybrook boys. Well, it's fun putting today's episode together.
I loved every minute of it.
Hope you, hey, keep your loved ones safe out there.
What? Why?
I'm just trying different endings. See if something sticks.
That one's a gooder.
I'm Skinny,
I'm Jurassic Mark.
and these are the Village Idioms.
Have you seen the Paddy Wagon? Have you seen the Paddy?
Last 3 minutes gone.